As someone who is autistic, I've often felt shamed by society for my intense interest in niche topics. And I also didn't have very many friends with whom I could share these interests. Eventually, I learned to keep things that I enjoyed or was passionate about to myself. I internalized the message that what I thought and what I loved didn't matter. And it's taken me a long time to challenge that message. These videos are my chance to share the stuff that entertains me and gets me excited. Where my other content tends to be pretty scripted and polished, these will be a little bit more loosey-goosey. I know YouTube doesn't generally like shorter videos, which makes it kind of hard for me. People who are autistic are sometimes accused of rambling, and I definitely did a lot of rambling back in the day. What I'm trying to say is that people's lack of patience taught me to be concise and to the point. That is, to prioritize efficiency over detail. So this is something of an experiment for me. Let's see if I can ramble and still stay on track. Today, I want to talk to you about the fantasy novel Sabriel by Garth Nix. I'm going to avoid talking plot details and just talk about the stuff I find pretty cool. But warning you now, there will be some spoilers. Sabriel is the first book in the Old Kingdom fantasy series, which is set in two fictional countries, Ancelstierre and the Old Kingdom, which are separated by a wall, kind of like in Game of Thrones. Ancelstierre, I hope I'm saying it right. Don't murder me in the comments if I get it wrong. Ancelstierre is like an early 20th century society, and the Old Kingdom is a place of magic. The story follows the adventures of a teenage girl, Sabriel, who leaves her boarding school in Ancelstierre to go in search of her father, Abhorsen, who is on the other side of the wall. Abhorsen is actually a title for a figure of a certain bloodline with powerful necromancy skills. The Abhorsen's job is to keep the dead from returning to life. Abhorsen, however, has gotten himself into something of a pickle and is now stuck in death. Death is represented in the book as another plane of existence that can be entered by necromancers at will. Death is portrayed as a river with a very strong current that spirits travel down. This river is broken up by a series of waterfalls or gates that lead towards total death. And then there's the fact that the Abhorsen's tools of trade are a bunch of magical bells worn in a bandolier. Each of these bells has a different name and a different power. Sabriel inherits these and the title of Abhorsen as she enters the Old Kingdom, where she is stalked by evil forces and encounters a variety of undead entities. She's helped along the way by the sarcastic Mogget, a magical creature bound in the form of a white cat. Remove Mogget's collar and you get a superpowered vortex of white-hot rage. This makes him at times a handy ally to Sabriel and also a mortal threat. Mogget's not entirely happy about being trapped in servitude for generations, and if given half the chance, will exact his revenge on the Abhorsen. Sabriel also gets to fly in a paper wing, a magical plane made entirely of paper. Pretty crazy, right? I first read this book and its sequels when I was a teenager, and I have to say, I love this world. I may be repeating myself here, but I was intrigued by the concept of two neighboring countries, one with magic and one without. Garth Nix also introduces some pretty interesting undead creatures, such as a burning monster made from bog clay and human blood. Sabriel as a character challenges the trope of the evil necromancer. She's more of a undead whisperer and a keeper of the natural order. And there's something of a feminist flavor to her story, like a plotline which I would describe as the opposite of Sleeping Beauty's. And let's not forget the fact that Sabriel is a badass heroine trained both in magic and in swordplay. And this cover design, I love it. Would you believe the audiobook for Sabriel happens to be read by Tim Curry? Okay, so most people will probably associate Tim Curry with the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'm transsexual. Transylvania.
But my child self remembers him as playing the devilish Lord of Darkness in the 1985 fantasy film Legend.
You're nothing but an animal.
We are all animals, my lady.
Did anyone else here see and love that film? It was right up there for me with Dark Crystal.
Please, show them Gelfling will not harm us. Please, please, please.
They both managed to be somewhat long and boring, but also really fascinating. But back to Tim Curry. I couldn't think of a better narrator for this book. Tim Curry plays the role of evil characters so well. His voice practically oozes venom.
Will you sleep, unknowing, till the great stones are ready for your blood?
Like I said earlier, Sabriel is the first in a series. And from what I can remember, the sequels were equally enjoyable and continued with the strong world building. Do I recommend Sabriel? You betcha. Which book or books were your favorite? What did you like most about the Old Kingdom universe? Who's your favorite character? I want to hear it all. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.